made to a dying mother. And when she did, the world couldn't help but stop to listen.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
You didn't expect that, did you? Did you? No.
I dreamed that love would never die.
Her performance became a "where were you when you heard" event. In a day, she had gone from being a nobody from a place you never heard of to being one of the most famous people in the world. It was YouTube's most played clip of the year, 300 million hits. But if Susan Boyle stunned the world, it was nothing compared to the way the world would stun her.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to everybody.
Well, I knew I was good enough to sing, but it's coping with the press and the added attention and the stress that brings. It was bringing the stress under control at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was about 50 television stations outside my door and stuff like that.
Including us.
Well, I'm not saying you, no, not at all. And it's difficult for someone who was really quiet to really come to terms with that.
She was then a 47-year-old woman who had never left the home in which she had cared for her aging mother in the down-at-the-heels Scottish town of Blackburn. By her own admission, she had never been kissed, had learning difficulties, was bullied at school, and now the world was beating a path to her door.
You've lived a quiet life here. You've looked after your mother and before that your father in this house, and you were known locally as someone who could sing well. But what did you know? You really had to take a decision yourself that you were going to step out, didn't you?
I did, yeah, because I felt I owed something back for my mother. So
Owed something back for your mother.
So I thought I'd do this as a kind of tribute to her.
Yeah. What do you think she'd think of it now?
I think she'd probably be very proud of me.
Do you have any sense, any idea how your life is going to change?
I've no idea. Take one step at a time, each day as it comes.
Yeah.
And boy, did it come. She couldn't get a haircut without the newspapers weighing in. She couldn't have an argument with a pestering fan without being labeled a thug. Boyle broke under the pressure and had to retire to a clinic. Her new life wasn't just chewing her up. It seemed about to spit her out.
Well, I was like a scared child before, but I'm not the scared person I used to be. I'm more adult in the way I compose myself. I'm more adult in the way I approach the job now. And it's a very pleasant job, and I've met a lot of nice people. I've had experts telling me how to go about it.
Yeah. In what ways were you kind of, you say a scared child, what ways were you unprepared?
Well, I had to learn how to deal with a lot of publicity and the glare of attention. And that takes a bit of getting used to, but I got there in the end.
Where she's gotten to is the next chapter in the remarkable rise and rise of Susan Boyle.
Apart from that, I've never really been outside black.
That's changed.
It's changed a lot, I'm happy to say.
Her new CD, released late last year, has done what everything associated with Susan Boyle has done, set records. It shot to #1 with a bullet, was the fastest-selling female debut album ever. It sold 3.5 million copies so far.
I'm who I was born to be.
And it wasn't just a medley of her hit. It showed she is an artist with range.
Well, you can cry me a river, as I cried a river over you.
I like to be challenged, and I saw them as a challenge. So if you sing things that are sort of away from what people expect, it shows them what you can do. You see whether or not you're versatile.
Have you surprised yourself with your own versatility?
I have, actually. It's absolutely honest, I have.
But you didn't know that you could do that kind of thing before you actually tried it?
I didn't know. It was actually experimentation, but it's good to experiment. It's a bit like having a wee flower. If you put a wee bit of water in it, it gradually blossoms. So we'll see what happens from there.
You're that blossoming flower.
Well, in baby steps, yes.
Boyle often talks about taking baby steps, She's had brief forays of travel, New York, LA, Japan.
It's a good place to be.
Has done the morning show circuit in the US.
Are you feeling like you're living your dream now?
I feel as if I don't want my dream to end.
And she's even hoping she gets to the point where she can go on tour and keep surprising her audience and herself.
I think I'm entertaining people. I'm inspiring a lot of people. A lot of people have written to me saying how much they've been inspired, and I'd like to keep on doing that for as long as it lasts.
Do you have to pinch yourself sometimes that this is still you doing this thing?
Yep, certainly is.
You can vouch for it.
I can vouch for it, I've just done it.
Next, Bobby Flay's recipe for romance.
This portion of Sunday Morning is sponsored by Zurich and Zurich Help Point.
Zurich Help Point is here to help you feel confident about your business insurance in today's challenging times. Whether it's a rapid response to a crisis